Okay, I left a bit of a spike. We're good. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jam Factory podcast. This will be episode 4 by the time I upload these in the order I want to. I'm going to have this one out first, ideally, because it's all about NAMM 2019 that just ended, I think, this weekend, didn't it? I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, NAMM, I forget what it stands for. Like aggregation of music merchants or some shit. National Association? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyways, where all the, music companies come together and basically show off what they've been working on for the past year. Anyone who's, into music, you've probably been watching it, keeping up with it. I know we have. It's been kind of cool just to see what people have been coming out with in the past, since last year, I guess, or since Summer NAMM at the very least, because there's one in like June, I think. Anyway, summertime where it's a bit smaller, but this is the big deal. Got lots of stuff. I made notes today, so we're at least about 8 times more professional than at least I normally am. It was an interesting year. I'd like to preface this by saying, when it comes to this, first of all, this is going to be mainly guitars central. I know like Arturia came out with new synths, and so did not Asus, that's laptops. What are they called? Alesis and stuff like that. Korg came out with a new synthesizer. Teenage Engineering made an appearance again, as they always do, coming out with new shit. But yeah, the main focus is guitar gear and pedals and all sorts of amps and stuff. Right, so what I want to say was I normally keep up with the pedal side of it because I think that's a lot more interesting. Unless there's some like really specific thing that I've been looking forward to for ages. Like, I don't know, Gretsch came out with a new thing, Fender, whatever. Well, I guess Fender did come out with a new guitar, didn't they? But I don't know. I just find the pedal side of it more interesting because there's more to play with. How much can you change a Les Paul, honestly, or a Telecaster? They're signatures, but the general gist is the same. Whereas the sounds you can make out of a pedal have been very interesting this year, as usually it always is. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I find the guitar shit way more interesting and a lot more. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. I think all the pedal stuff is cool, but guitars are just a little bit more visual, so you can like look, be like, oh man, that's cool. That's a crazy new finish, So I'm a little bit more. I view more of the guitars, so I'll be covering the guitar section more, and Andrew will be covering the pedal side of it, and we'll both talk a little bit about amps and shit.
Well, isn't this real convenient? How well this worked out. Okay, so I guess get the big stuff out of the way first. Just if it wasn't obvious, this is just basically a NAMM recap. I don't know if I said that, but anyways, I guess we should talk about guitars first. I don't super keep up with this. I don't know if there's something you wanted to get off, an elephant in the room you wanted to get out first. I don't know. I just saw like the stuff Fender's been doing with Jimmy Page and that weird acoustic thingy. The Ibanez, whatever. I don't know. Like I said, this is your segment. You can do what you want, honestly.
Yeah. So Gibson's returning to form, which is pretty cool for the most part. So yeah, pretty much they were just like, fuck all the shit that everybody's been telling us not to do. So let's finally listen to them, since they have the new CEO, and apparently he can actually read fucking comments and read emails and shit telling him that fucking everything is garbage that they're doing. So I don't know about quality control. I guess because I know they've been having a lot of quality control problems in the past. I don't know if that's going to change or not, but they're definitely returning to form on a lot of their stuff. They still have the high performance stuff, but the high performance stuff to me makes sense for the most part. Like having that extra cutaway and stuff like that. But overall, it seems like they're finally listening and making sense. Like, they're not fucking chambering the shit out of Les Pauls and other stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. If I had to pick a favorite out of it so far, it's probably that. There's this red Firebird. That's pretty fucking tits. And then and then they have this Les Paul Jr. It's only $800, which should make sense, but it doesn't in Gibson terms. A Les Paul Jr. should be cheap, but usually they're not for some reason. But this one's yes, but this one's pretty cheap, and it seems pretty cool. Hopefully it plays and sounds as good as it looks. But that's about it for.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
I've just seen that a lot of people are kind of giving Gibson props, especially after the whole kind of debacle that went on this past, what was it, pretty much this past summer, that they were on the rocky road to the docks, it seemed. What that had to do with, I wasn't necessarily sure. I had kind of an inkling. I don't know, they were trying a lot of very bizarre ideas, and also just going into guitar shops and just seeing, people, or not even people trying them out, just seeing them kind of sectioned off in such a way that was like, well, I don't really want to touch a Gibson because that's like $4,000, and if anything happens to it, I'm bankrupt for life. Like, it's I don't know. It was Gibson's always been kind of an elite sort of name. I've been sort of hesitant to go towards, since I don't know, I feel like other brands can do the same thing, whereas Gibson back in when Les Paul was first designing his guitars, and even up past that, in the 70s and whatever, people using the ones that were made then, they had like a very the sound of Les Paul, wasn't it? So I don't think anything could emulate that quite as well with like just a nice Gibson Les Paul and a Marshall. But I don't know, lately, you can do anything with just like, I don't know, not necessarily amp sims, but I mean, they're getting pretty spot on, especially in recent years. But even just yesterday, I was just looking at just Gretches just for something to do, just to cry over things I can't afford, and just those those Gretsch Penguins and the Falcons, they, like, to me, they sound just as good as a Gibson Les Paul or a ES 335, respectively, obviously. But I don't know, Gibson's been having a bit of trouble with regards to that. And so what are some of the things they've been kind of backpedaling on? I saw like locking tuners are finally being embraced, unless they have been and I haven't noticed.
Yeah, they're it seems like they're backpedaling a lot on, like, I think they took out all those stupid robo tuners, and and like they're doing more traditional colors, especially for the classic stuff. The high performance range still has like the more exotic colors and stuff like that. And I think it's fine for Gibson and brands to experiment, but don't take away your core line. You know what I mean? It, like, make stuff that makes sense, and then make specialty items. Don't make the specialty items your core items. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be like Fender taking that. Have you seen oh yeah, I think you showed me this, the Meteora or whatever Fender, the really wacky looking shape. Like, it would be like if they replaced the Stratocaster with that.
Exactly.
Not quite as extreme, obviously, because that's a completely different shape, but like, I don't know. If they started putting like Firebird, not Firebird, what? Oh my God, what's it called? Stratocaster pickups in the Telecasters, which they do. They have that, I forget what it's called, but it's like the Telecaster shape with Fender Stratocaster gear in it, and just calling that the new Telecaster.
Yeah, it's just weird, and it doesn't make any sense. But speaking of like kind of guitars that can emulate a Gibson way, pretty close to to almost exactly, that are just good Les Paul copies, are the is new ESP range. ESP is making a lot of crazy shit. Like, the Reba Myers the Code Orange guitar player. She just got a new signature. Then Stephen Carpenter, he ripped out that middle pickup that no one ever uses, including him. What's really cool is they're doing with all the Eclipses, or a lot of the Eclipses, is they're having the it's called CTM. So the irregular Eclipse is a thinner body than a regular Les Paul, but the CTM Eclipses have like a full thickness the full thickness of a Les Paul. And I think the E2s and stuff will have maple caps, hopefully. So, I mean, you could pretty much get that same tone for, like, a good chunk of change cheaper. But, yeah, and then there's this there's the CTM 1001T CTM, and it's a silver burst. And that looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. And then, that's, like, the main shit. Like, I mean, Bill Kelly here, signature model, has a new finish and stuff. It's mostly like finishes and stuff.
I was just about to say he has like just a jet black finish on his Sparrowhawk, which, not gonna lie, that thing looks fucking sick.
Yeah, and then they also have a new multi-scale LTD, you know, because multi-scale is really hitting the scene hard lately. Same with that and Fishman pickups. Yeah. Fucking Fishman pickups are everywhere. Like, every other Ibanez model, a shit ton of the LTD and ESP shit has fucking goddamn Fluence pickups, which I've never played them. From what I've heard, I like them. They sound really good. I've never really like played a guitar with them to really give my full opinion, but from what I've heard, they seem cool. I don't know. I definitely want to throw a pair of them in a guitar and see what I can get out of them.
See the difference.
Yeah. And then I guess since we already started on Ibanez, let's talk about Ibanez. It's fucking shit ton of artist models.
Jesus.
Just so many artist models, and then mostly new.
I was gonna say they have their new guitar range that they announced this year, the Axion, which I mean, they're not to my taste, honestly. I'm not super into the crazy horns, like shred guitars, but I don't know. They look like they could be pretty cool. I've obviously never played one, like, because they're brand new, but I don't know. Ibanez usually they sound good. Put it that way. I don't care for the look, but they sound quite nice.
I like Ibanez. My thing is, like, they kind of sound... I think it's because they use basswood for most of their bodies, so they're very balanced. I kind of like having, like, something like a Jackson, where if I was going to go shredder, I'd probably go Jackson, because Jackson has a real snappiness. Jackson has, like, a real defined tone. And I feel like Ibanez... You know, I that's partly the appeal, I'm sure, for a lot of people with Ibanez, is they're just insanely balanced guitars, you know.
Yeah, they're very
their frequency range is just even about across the board pretty much.
Yeah, they're very flat, and that sounds like an insult, but it's because I feel like a lot of people who use Ibanez hook them up to a bunch of crazy shit, so they want to be able to EQ it themselves in a certain way, and not have, like, you know, a Gibson sounds very warm, like a Fender sounds very twangy and snappy, but, like, yeah, an Ibanez is very, I don't know, down the middle, to put it that way.
Yeah.
In not an insulting way at all.
Yeah, and it all comes down to personal taste. Like, I like Ibanez and I like the look of them, but the tone, like, if I had to choose between Jackson and Ibanez, I'd most likely pick Jackson, just because I like to have my tone already a little bit colored just from the guitar. I don't like a full, just, like, you know, even platform. I like to have just, like, a little bit of color to it out of the gate. But
yeah.
And then Jackson. I guess let's go into Jackson now. Jackson stole Jeff Loomis from Schecter, so Jeff Loomis has a new Jackson guitar, which, you know, Good on him to jump ship. Schecter. Some of the there was a couple Schecter guitars I thought looked all right. I'm not a Schecter fan, as we talked about already.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, all the Jacksons. It's mostly just new colors and stuff. But like the new Misha Mans, or all the Misha Mansours, they have like updated colors, and all the colors are just cool. That's pretty much the main stuff from Jackson that's coming out, is just new color stuff. Let's see, PRS, pretty much the same thing. Like the
Yeah, they updated a few pickups. I
yeah,
think.
they tweaked the pickups. They added one of the Paul's guitars. They made that an SE model.
Yep.
And then
Oh, they did. I did see that.
yeah, and then
Because Paul's guitars look fucking nice.
the fucking blue acoustic guitar that SE, I think it's an SE. Yeah, the blue SE guitar that they stained. I think it looks gross. I don't know. If I'm gonna buy an acoustic guitar, I don't really want it to be blue. I may.
No, yeah. Acoustics I'd like to just be wood color. I think the wacky colors make it look really off.
Yeah, it's just to me it's tacky, and not like, yeah, I don't know. Like, to each his own, but just for me, I don't like it. And then I think they updated their multi-scale guitar.
Oh, did
Yeah, I think mostly it was the pickups and stuff just to get it right. Let's see. And then last but definitely not least, Fender.
Yep. Many of you might have already seen this because I'm pretty sure they announced this pre-NAMM. Like they showed it off and had like kind of a demo video of it through their like, website people, whatever. The new Fender, I want to get the name right, Acoustasonic Telecaster. So it's like, it's an acoustic guitar, but it's in the shape of a Telecaster. And it like, the idea is that it sounds like a Telecaster when it's plugged in, but it's an acoustic guitar. Which sounds very bizarre, because to me that's basically just like a really like overly hollow body Telecaster, which already exists. But I don't know. You played it. I have not. I haven't been to a guitar store in absolutely ages, which is blasphemous, but it's fine. Yeah. So you played the thing. Care to share your thoughts? You kind of told me.
Granted, I'm a left-handed player, and it was a right-handed guitar, so I haven't. So it wasn't like full-on playing. I got a general feel of it. It feels all right. It feels like a Tele. I definitely don't think it's $2,000 worth. And it's pretty much has the same output as like a Gretsch hollow or semi-hollow body. It sounds all right. I mean, I only played it acoustic, but from what I've heard on demos and stuff, I think it's a cool concept. It's just not for me, and I think there's other shit that's cooler that makes more sense that Fender's done. But I definitely think, I think it's indie. I think it's definitely the indie guitar. I'm sure a lot of indie people or indie musicians can make cool shit out of it.
That's what I was gonna say. It sounds like, from what I've seen, like some of the demo stuff of it, like granted they kind of tweak shit so it sounds better, but it sounds like something like, I don't know, like Fleet Foxes would make good use of if they decided to record another album this decade. But yeah, it seems like a niche sort of thing, honestly, which, I mean, is fine, whatever. Like, there's weird shit for everybody, right? So, yeah, I can't see myself ever getting one, which is fine. Like, I can't see myself getting a lot of things, so.
Yeah. And then Fender made me a happy boy. They released some American professional jazz masters that are left-handed, and a Squire too. So that's what I'm gonna be saving my money up for, is definitely a jazz master.
Have they tweaked anything in it, or is it just here's a left hand?
Basically,
nerds?
I think basically it's just here's a left-handed one. They have it in seafoam green, and it's just like a sparkly one that's really cool. And then they have some rosewood ones, which I prefer maple to rosewood for Fenders, but And then They have the alternate reality guitars, which it's basically like, there's one really cool. It's like a weird mix of it's like a weird jazz master, but it has a humbucker in the bridge and a P90 in the neck, which is beautiful. And I think it has a roasted maple neck. I'm not 100% sure.
Ugh, hell yes.
And then they added the Meteora guitar. They added that as a Mexican guitar, one of the Mexican models. And what's badass about it is it has 2 humbuckers, so which makes sense. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was cool when it had the tele pickups, but it seems like it fits way more with humbuckers.
Because it looks like a jazz master.
Yeah, and also like they don't have a standalone guitar that comes stock with humbuckers, and I feel like this would be the perfect guitar for that.
Yeah, because it looks chunky like a jazz master, but a jazz master obviously doesn't have humbuckers in it. Stock, I don't think, unless they have a model that does. But yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, Fender's been kind of the single coil party horse for a long time. What the fuck is a party horse? Whatever. But yeah, it's interesting to see them finally just buckle down and put some humbuckers, Jesus, on their on just one of their base models. Granted, it's not for me. Looks very odd to me, but
see, I would get that. I want to get one of it. If they make a left-handed one, I'm going to get one because that is badass. I like it a lot.
In that yellow as well?
I prefer it in the blue that's in it now, but I do like the butterscotch look of it though too. But I'm just a butterscotch color fan. And then I guess the biggest news that is Jimmy Page's signature. And so they have it in the American and the Mexican. The Mexican is still like $1,400.
Yeah, it's a pricey thing.
But like the full-on Fender custom shop one is like $4,000 or something like that. Insane, because Jimmy Page actually colored. He did a lot of the coloring for the dragon in it. So
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big reason why. Kind of ridiculous, but, you know, it is Jimmy Page. Like, what do you expect? You know, something that's going to be a Jimmy Page guitar, especially as iconic as that, because it was Jeff Beck's originally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has a lot of heritage, so obviously it's going to be ridiculously expensive, but it's cool. I would, if it was a bit cheaper and left-handed, I would look into it.
Yeah, fuck. It's well, I mean, it's like it's the sound of the first album is why it's so special, I guess. And I mean, he used it for a lot of the recordings, like his original one.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah, well, I am and I'm not. But also, I mean, it was the sound of Stairway to Heaven on the recording.
Yeah.
Which is badass. And then they came out with a bunch of pedals, but I'll let Andrew get into that. I think that's about it. I mean, there's definitely like Balaguer made some cool stuff. Donables made some new stuff.
SMP came out with some new models as well.
Oh yeah.
Or not new models. I think they updated the what are they called? I think the Ecor models or whatever they're called. Or I might be getting my guitar brands mixed up, but yeah, SMP had a few things. Yeah, I think Nags did too.
Yeah, I think. And then Strandberg. Strandberg doesn't have really any new models, but they like cleaned up a lot of they just made their shit. They just had new colors and I fixed up some stuff. Solar Guitars, the Ola England guitar brand, they came out with an LP shape.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that's about it on the major stuff I've seen. I didn't really look into Kiesel stuff, anything new from Kiesel. I don't know. I haven't looked into Kiesel yet. And then there's the more boutique-y brands and shit like that. But yeah, I think that's mostly it on guitars.
So Fender's been really busy doing whatever the fuck, hanging out with Jimmy Page, making some weird ass acoustic guitars, and apparently making a shit ton of pedals. So, fuck, do I go in order? Okay, just to get this out of the way, I kind of, sort of play bass, kind of. So I was kind of excited to see the Downtown Express that Fender made. It's a bass pedal. It sounds really fucking cool. I mean, it's kind of just a bass box with a bunch of shit in it. I think it has like, it's like distortion. I think, fuck, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else did it have? Oh yeah, the MTG tube distortion. Oh, what?
I'll be right back, Andrew.
Yeah.
So ramble off your pedals. I got to do something.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna talk while Brian, I don't know, does whatever he's doing. So Fender also made the MTG tube distortion. That's what it's called. It's 150. It runs on 150 volts, but it still works with the 9 volt. I don't really understand what that means. Switchable boost. It also has a like a little knob to I don't know what they called it, but it's like it thins out the sound basically. So like usually for lead you want something to kind of thicken it up a bit to make it kind of stand out, but usually for rhythm that makes it get really muddy. So you can turn that knob and it kind of like pulls out the low end a little bit just to make your rhythm sound a little more cleaned up. What else we got? They've got whatchamacallit? The Fender Pinwheel is what they're calling it. It's a like a Leslie rotary clone. Yeah. Apparently it can put in the power amp like drive shit of a Leslie 145 and a 122. One really cool thing that was on a couple of their pedals. Actually, I'll get into that last because it kind of encompasses everything. What else do they have? There was a chorus, the bubbler or something. Kind of dumb name, but whatever. To be fair, I don't know what I would have called it, so whatever. I take that back. I mean, it's a chorus, whatever. It sounds fine. And a phaser. There's a way you can actually mess with their phaser that they explained, where you can like suck out all the, like turn it all dry signal so it like sounds just like a vibrato, which was kind of cool. I'm probably explaining that way wrong, but like the demo I saw of it, he just like basically just sucked out the weird warpy sound and it just turned into a vibrato, which was really cool. I think that was everything. Yeah, there's like a half dozen things. Like Fender's been busy. Let me see. Yeah, that is everything. But the thing I was about to kind of go into that a few of these pedals have, like the chorus has it, the phaser, and the pinwheel all have it. It's a switch. No, sorry, it's not a switch. It's a sensor, not a switch. It changes the effect based on how hard you dig into the strings. So like you could just set it to whatever and like have it kind of slow for like really lightly playing chords, and then you can like dig in deeper and it'll like actually speed up the rotary or the phaser or whatever. So it's super cool. Like you can basically just leave it as it is and play really light chords to have like kind of a light little flavor over it, and then just like if you go to play lead, obviously you're playing a little bit heavier, so it'll actually speed up or like deepen the chorus, or really it'll make the rotary effect go faster and change tempo and stuff. It was a really cool effect, and I don't know how they pulled it off, but that's cool. It's probably just a volume thing that like however hot the signal comes in is like how much the effect changes. But like the fact that like, I don't know, like obviously it's not sensing how hard you play, that's fucking dumb, but yeah, the fact that it like changes, it's like a dynamic pedal basically, which is cool as shit.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh, you missed all of that. I was getting really excited. Fuck it, you can watch this. You've got a computer with YouTube on it.
Oh yeah, I'll play catch up.
Okay, it's fine. What else we got? Pedals. Moore, the GE300. It's just an amp sim. I mean, they're cool. Like whatever. Oh shit, I forgot. Fender. I knew I was missing one. Fender. They're calling it the tree verb or tray verb. I don't know what that means. It's got 3 different trems in it. Can do like the. It can do the type that's in like a twin reverb. It can do bias tremolo from a Princeton, and it can do like the more vintage sound, like the just harmonic tremolo, which was kind of cool. It's got tap tempo tremolo. That's hard to say.
Are you able to stack the tremolos?
I don't think so. I think it could. You might be able to blend between like 2. Because I think there's a knob that does it. I don't know if you can like just stack them all on top of each other. I don't think that was a thing you could do that. It's got spring reverbs and plate reverbs as well. The plate reverb sounded very nice. I mean, it all sounded nice. Like Jesus. Yeah. So it's a tremolo and a reverb slapped together with tap tempo, which is pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Moore, I already talked about that. Like I said, amp sims, whatever. Not my thing, but they're cool. Who else we got? Way Huge. And I have off to the side the Swollen Pickle People because I knew I wasn't gonna remember that name for shit. But anyways, This is a it's like a what do you call it? A remaster, I guess. Remaster.
A revision.
This is that, or like a remake, I guess, of the and not a bad remake like Ghostbusters 2016, but like a good remake of a pedal they used to make called the Super Lead, or it was like a Super series. Like the Super Lead, there was a Super Puss, which they still make, and
that's amazing delay.
Honey, Where's My Super Suit? But anyways, I'm glad no one heard that. But yeah, it's a Super Lead overdrive. I mean, it's just a really fuzzy overdrive. Like, what do you expect? It sounded kind of cool. Yeah, I have honestly nothing to say about that. Like, it is what it is. What else we got? Oh, MXR came out with a. First of all, may we say happy birthday to the Green Day album Dookie, because it's 25 years old today, which is fucking insane. But anyway, so they made a pedal based on the sound that Billy Joe Armstrong got with the album, which what he did was just put two heads together with like mismatching like just different settings, obviously, and just stacked them and then kind of blended between them whenever he wanted. So that's exactly what this thing does. It's got two heads basically in one box is how they've described it. It's got two separate circuits in it, so it's just like one for each head, obviously. And you can just kind of blend between them. It sounds really cool. It sounds really good. There's also like a whatchamacallit, a button to like scoop out some of the mids to make it kind of chunkier, which is kind of a cool feature, I guess. But yeah, it's the type of thing where like I just love to just play with, because I feel like it has just shit tons of options, and I love pedals like that. Which brings us on to, you know what, sorry, Electro Harmonics. I want to talk about Walrus Audio because I fucking love them. Speaking of something you can play with a lot about, what? What does that mean? That's not a sentence. Play with a lot. Something you can play with a lot. I'm sure you all can figure out what that means. Anyway, Walrus Audio. Walrus Audio came out with an analog phaser called the Lillian. It's basically the answer to the, if you guys have ever heard of the Julia, which is an analog chorus. I guess, I don't know, it was only a matter of time before they came out with more phasers, and there's probably going to be another, like, flanger on the way, probably. I don't know. But yeah, at first glance, you know, I'm not a huge fan of, like, phasers for, for more than just kind of a novelty sort of use. So I was just looking at it like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like, you know, got the normal stuff, like, you know, width, frequency, depth, whatever, to, you know, how much it fluctuates and stuff. There's a switch that goes from what's called 6-stage to 4-stage, or vice versa. Phaser, which 6-stage is just more complicated. It goes through, I mean, obviously, it goes through more, like, stages to get back to where you started. More, like, signal changes or whatever to get back to normal. It just sounds a lot more fuller and more complicated basically. It's better for, I don't know, it's more expressive, I guess is the word. And then the 4 stage is just, it's tighter for one thing, because it's not going through so much like warping to get to where you want it, and it's just a simpler sound. But the 6 stage one sounds very like open and lush. It sounds really good. What else was it? Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm just really dumb and never known that certain pedals do this. I know like the Electro Harmonix Freeze does this, but you can hold the foot switch, like press it down, not just click it, but like you hold it down and it can just, it'll give you the phaser for however long you press it down, so you can do it for like one note and just let go, which I think is really cool. I don't know if more pedals do that and I'm just really dumb and haven't noticed, but when I saw it I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it did that. I felt kind of dumb, not gonna lie. So everyone's gonna call me dumb because like, oh, every pedal does that. Yeah, probably. Anyways, I'm sure the Julia does that now that I think about it, but I don't know. But like, God, the demo that they had for it was like, they're getting such ridiculous sounds out of it, which again, like a phaser is not normally something I go to, like at all. But oh, sorry. Yeah, it was just, they're getting lots of really cool sounds out of it. And like, obviously it's still kind of a novelty sort of thing, unless you're like, I don't know, in like a synth band or something. But I felt like it was something that I would actually put more use to than just a normal, like the MXR phase or whatever. I don't know, it just, something about it was different. I couldn't really put my finger on it. Don't know. It's cool. The artwork is fantastic, as always, with audio with Walrus. Yeah, damn, man. That's rough. Time to turn my notes over. What else we got? Oh, yeah, back to Electro Harmonix. These guys just make some, A, weird, but B, also really cool pedals. They came out with what's called a mono synth, which is, basically turns your guitar into a fucking Korg. It sounds insane. Like, this thing sounds like a spaceship. It's ridiculous. It's so cool. It's got like, it's got all sorts of different settings. You can set it to like play more like just a buzzy kind of synth. You can set it to be kind of, cooler, jazzier, I don't know. Those pedals are cool as shit. I think it's their answer to the, oh no, that's made by them. Never mind. I'm getting my companies mixed up. That was something I'd like to see. Like I said, it's the weird shit I like, because I don't know, that's the stuff I like to play with when I'm like in songwriting mode. It's like, oh, what would happen if I just like broke the universe and used this instead of, a normal distortion? Oh, it sounds like shit probably? Okay, cool, let's do it. Oh, last thing, this is for all you bass people out there, Dark Glass came out with a ridiculous fucking bass head amp thingy, Alpha Omega 900. Fucking hell, it sounds insane. 900 watts? Like, why? But also thank you. 3-way cab select, has a built-in compressor and built-in distortion, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, Jesus Christ, it sounds insane. It's just sounds nasty when you play on it. All their stuff sounds good, but yeah, this thing was a monster. Holy shit. Anyways, that, unless I'm forgetting something, casually flips over notes. I am forgetting quite a few things. Laney came out with some more pedals. It's just a reverb. It's called Secret Path. It's got 3 different settings in it. You can do spring reverb, plate reverb, or what they call the Secret Path reverb, which is basically, I don't know, it sounds like if you're recording in like a cathedral. It just sounds really echoey and deep and kind of dark, honestly. It sounds cool. Yeah, I'm just going to finish off with Wampler. They make some pretty cool distortions and stuff. And they came out with what's called a Terraform, which is basically about like 6 of their pedals put into one box. It's kind of cool. It seems to be kind of a recurring theme this year. It's got tremolo. It's got a few different types of tremolo. I'm pretty sure it has harmonic and just regular, up and down. It's got 3 chorus voices that you can do. It's got a phaser, flanger. Yeah, it's basically kind of a do-it-all type box. I mean, not much more you can say about that. I'm a little hesitant about those types of things because, I don't know, usually like to have a bit of mix and match because different companies make different effects differently. But, I don't know. It's a cool thing. If you like Wampler, I like Wampler. I think they make some cool shit. But, yeah, there you go. You got a few things in one box, and it's, obviously cheaper than buying all of the shit separately. Yeah. Oh yeah, to answer your question earlier, I have this written down off to the side. The Walrus phaser, it does let you blend in between. I don't know if you can blend all 3. Like I said, I think it's only between 2. Mm-hmm. But like, Jesus Christ, that's still a ridiculous amount of options for a phaser that's only like $200.
Yeah.
Or like $900 Canadian, because fuck the exchange rate.
Yeah, and then what's really cool is also Rev came out with a new pedal. So Rev makes amplifiers. Mm-hmm. So there's the Rev G4, and it's like an amazing distortion pedal. Like, it's insane. Yeah. And then there's Rob Chapman's snake oil pedals.
Oh shit, I forgot about Chapman.
And then
they're just...
There's the Seymour Duncan Dark Sun. That's the Mark Holcomb from Periphery. He designed that with him. It's like a delay and reverb in one unit, which is really cool. Exotic came out with like a super clean boost. Eventide came out with this pedal called the Rose. It's like a weird modulation delay pedal. But yeah, and then that's all I really have for what I know of the new pedals. I didn't hear you cover. But and then there's the new Boss insane Boss Waza tube amp expander, which is insane.
Yeah. I was saving that one for last because I knew you wanted to talk about that. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So Boss, yeah, you've already said the name. Waza tube amp expander. So it's like, Jesus Christ, has an idiotic amount of options in it. So the key thing, I guess, I think the main thing they were aiming for was being able to expand your tubes the way that you do when you crank the volume, but being able to keep it at low volume. Because usually, like, tube amps at, certain low volumes, they sound like shit. Like, they, I don't know, they just sound really just boxy and dumb.
Yeah.
But once you crank it, everything just opens up, and it's like, what the hell? So basically, you can do that, but not deafen yourself, is kind of the idea. Yeah. It seems.
Yeah, so it has that emulator, and then in addition, you can do mic. It has like a output, or like a XLR out, and you can use cab sims, and you can load your own IR impulses. And then it also has built-in effects, and then also it has an effects loop. So if you have like an old JMP or just an old amp that doesn't have an effects loop, you don't have to spend a bunch of money and ruin your tone by putting one in your amp. You can just use this and use it as the effects loop. So that makes it pretty badass. Yeah, it's a ridiculously awesome piece of gear.
Yeah, Jesus. It's especially nice for those old amps that couldn't be bothered to put a bit of reverb in it, because this thing has its own built-in reverb, which is very nice. Yeah, just ridiculous amount of options to... I think it really is targeted towards just amps that you, A, have to crank to get the sound nice, and B, don't have any effects in them without kind of fucking up the signal. So, yeah, damn.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took someone this long to figure this out, but...
Yeah, it's...
Jesus Christ.
It's insane. I definitely thinking about getting it. I might sell my my 2 notes to get this. I don't know. We'll figure that out. All in due time.
Yeah. All right. So that's the pedal side of it, and we're kind of sneaking into the amp side of this thing.
Yeah, I haven't.
Because I already talked about the dark glass thing, but that, yeah, just because I don't know, I play bass sometimes. I get kind of excited when I see some new cool bass shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of new amp stuff. There's a new PV Invective 20 watt that PV and Misha Mansour just came out with, and then also the Jerry Cantrell Friedman, the JJ amp. They made that into a 20 watt. Pretty much they're just taking those big ass amps and make them smaller. And then also there's this cool orange amp. I think they released it right before NAMM, but it's kind of tied in where it's like it's kind of mixing orange and Fender together, where it has the tremolo. So it has two different tremolos, and they're foot switchable, and you can stack the tremolos on them. So if you wanted to get like a Fender Vibrolux, you could do that with the with more of an orange tone, and then you could stack it, and it's really cool. I actually that's an amp I would look into because it seems really cool.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But yeah, I assume we're talking about the same thing. Little combo, right?
Yeah, it's a little combo.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It'll come to me in a minute. It's something verb.
Yeah.
Damn, it's not coming to me. Anyway, I'll think of it like next week and be like, shit.
Yeah. Let's see. I haven't.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot of new amp stuff from. Granted, I haven't looked into it, and it's also the orange one is called Tremolord.
Well, I had that way wrong. Whoops.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of. I haven't really looked into a whole lot of stuff for amps with NAMM. It's mostly been guitar stuff with me.
Yeah. Well, I've got Marshall is just doing. They're doing the mini head thing too. I don't know what the deal is with all the mini heads. I guess they're popular. They're just doing 20 watt versions of the JCM 800s. Yeah, it's got power switching from, I think it goes down to 5 watts, and I think it goes down to 1 watt as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But and yeah, Marshall has this whole, they're calling it the Studio amp range, and I think they're changing the name of the JCM 800s to like the Studio Elites or some shit. I don't know. They were saying a bunch of names, and they're like, oh yeah, this used to be this used to be that. I'm like, fuck, just keep the old names. It's fine. Yeah, so the Studios encompasses all the JCM like collection, I think. I don't know. I didn't really understand it. But the one I was most excited to see was from Laney. God bless their souls. They're remaking the those old 60s supergroup amps, which are really hard to come by these days, obviously. It's called the Supermod. Oh yeah, I remember what the thing was with this. It was it's basically complete recreation of the supergroup, but it had this one has a master volume. This apparently you couldn't. They thought it was a great idea to not be able to like turn it down. So this one has a master volume, so it still sounds good when you lower your guitar volume. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand the rationale behind that. I might be getting this wrong, but yeah, the one now, they're very proud of the fact that it has a master volume, so that you can not deafen yourself while playing it.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure it was just on or off. That's it.
Yeah.
It's from the '60s, so I mean, it's a little backwards, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and then Orange also unveiled the pedal baby so it's just a power amp, and you just hook up your pedals into it, and so you can hook up distortion pedals and all this other shit into it, and that's how you can So yeah, it's just a super pedal friendly amp.
Nice.
Fender's pretty much cleaned up like their basement and other stuff, like their little like modeling amps. They pretty much just clean those up.
Yeah.
Milkman's released a couple new amps. Milkman's like just like a clean, super clean type amp.
Right. Yeah.
And then Vox, pretty much, I think they released some newer, like the VX50 and VS15, or VX50 and VX15. Those are some new amps.
Yeah. A lot of the companies are just tidying stuff up and releasing like just little updates and stuff. Honestly, there's nothing insanely new. Like a lot of the stuff is putting the big shit into 20 watt mini heads, which is interesting to me. I didn't realize they were so popular, but I mean, I guess they're affordable versions of the same shit, really, just not quite as powerful. But I mean, if you're just playing by yourself, why do you need a giant thing? Which I'm just realizing is probably a point you kind of contest with, since you have a 100 watt thing in your room.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like I don't need it, but I want it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like having the power but not using it. But I don't know. I also use them because like those hopefully when I find a band, hopefully can use them live. But
yeah, that'll sound sick on a stage. Hell yes, a stack.
Yeah, because remember whenever we jammed with my old drummer and we hooked up my PV for the first time and I cranked it and
that was the day you bought it too. Fuck.
Yeah, and like that painting fell over and knocked shit down just because it was so loud and like vibrating.
That was ridiculous. That was the 6505, right?
Yeah, and it sounded so good. That's the thing, man. It sounded so good. But you know what sounds really, really amazing that I'm actually thinking about getting eventually is there's the PRS Mark Tremonti 15 watt. Jesus Christ, it sounds amazing for a 15 watt metal amp. Like, Jesus. It has so much low end and it has a good amount of headroom. It's ridiculous, and it's light and small, which is great.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
A fun little side note, for all you Nardwuar fans out there, he's literally in the next room right now. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Oh, that's cool.
He's been in here all day. But yeah, he's walked into the studio. Hello.
That's cool.
But yeah. I think he's getting ready to go on the air, but yeah. For anyone who cares, Nardwuar's here.
But yeah, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, honestly, this wasn't trying to be an all-encompassing thing. Like, Jesus, we skipped so much stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, yeah, we kind of glazed over some of the stuff that, you know.
Yeah, and I'm sure the next few episodes we'll re-look at some shit and trickle down stuff that we missed. But yeah, I think this is a good first podcast for all the NAMM shit that's coming. But yeah. So yeah, this has been Brian.
Been Andrew. This has been the Jam. Oh, here we go again. This has been the Jam Factory Podcast episode. I'll call it 4. This has been episode 4. It's just been basically I guess a little recap of just our favorite stuff that we saw at NAMM. Just some of the stuff we were excited to see after, you know, a lot of teasing. A lot of these companies like to tease before it's like, oh, what's coming? They'll post it on their Instagram or whatever. It's like, fuck you, just wait for a week.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding. I love to be teased. It's the best. It's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Next one, or I may upload or first of all, I have to edit them. The ones that we recorded 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Which I might have to edit in me saying a soundbite of me saying 5 instead of 4 on some of them, but it's fine. Yeah, hopefully this will come out, the weekend.
But yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, I don't know. NAMM 2017. Fucking hell. Oh my god. NAMM 2019. I mean, fuck, I'm 2 years off. It's like when the new year changes, you go back to school and you write the wrong year on literally everything.
Yeah, that shit's the worst. I always have to keep an eye on that. But anyways, later, y'all. Later.
All right. See you guys.